Hello and good morning, grade 7 with you, Mr. Samir Awad. And today we are going to start our session about air pressure. That's lesson 2. Part 1 is talking about what are some uh, properties of air and also what instruments measure air pressure. And part 2 will talk about how does altitude affect air pressure and density. Let's start, guys. So, what are some properties of air? How do you know that air exists? It may seem to you that air has no mass, but air in the atmosphere consists of atoms and molecules which have mass. Because air has mass, it also has other properties including density and pressure. First of all, let's talk about the density. And the density is the amount of mass in given volume of air in is its density. And if I'm talking about it mathematically, to calculate the density of this substance by dividing its mass by its volume. So the density of the air will be the mass of the air over the volume in the area of the air. Here, if there are more molecules in a given volume, the density is greater. And if there are fewer molecules, the density is less. Yeah. Pressure here, if you talk about the pressure, we'll get the atmosphere is heavy and its weight exerts a force on the surfaces like you or even like the Earth surface. And the force pushing on an area or surface called pressure. So air pressure is the result of the weight of the column of the air pushing on an area. Like there is column of air above you that extends all the way through the entire atmosphere. So in fact, the weight of the column of the air above your desk is about the same as the weight of a large school bus. So we'll see here, guys, that the air column starting from highest point in the atmosphere till it starts to press over you. And that pressure of the air column is called air pressure. So why does not air pressure crush your desk? Yeah, the reason is that molecules of air push in all directions, down, up, and sideways. So the air pushing down on top of your desk is balanced by the air pushing up on the bottom and also from side to side. So as you can see here, yeah, the arrows there represent the air particles pressing from everywhere and they are in a balanced way so your desk is not going to crash. What instruments measure air pressure? First of all, we will get air pressure can change daily and a denser substance has more mass per unit volume than the less dense one. So denser air exerts more pressure than less dense air. A barometer is the apparatus or the instrument that I can use it in order to measure the air pressure. And we have two kinds of barometers, guys, mercury and aneroid barometers. First one here will be mercury barometers. And the mercury barometers consist of long glass tube that is closed at one end and open from the other one. And the open end of this tube rests in a dish of mercury, and the closed end of the tube almost a vacuum. The space above the mercury will contain a very little air. And that's like you see here, guys. That's a tube upside down. The up one is closed and the downward one is immersed in a dish of mercury. and the air start to press over from both sides here on the mercury. So the mercury is going up to give us the air pressure. So once you get according to the length of mercury here, you will get the pressure. When the length of mercury increase, that means that the air pressure increase. And on opposite, yeah, if it decreases here, it means that there is low air pressure. That is the difference, guys. So the air pressing down on the surface of the mercury in the dish is equal to the pressure exerted by the weight of the column of mercury in the tube. So when air pressure increases, it presses down more on the surface of the mercury. Greater air pressure, guys, and greater air pressure forces the column of mercury to get higher. So the level of the mercury in the tube shows you the pressure of the air that day according to the level of mercury up or down. So let's get to the last part of our session today. It's talking about units of air pressure. And when we are talking about the units of air pressure, it tends to be related to the apparatus or the instrument we used before. Yeah, it's a mercury barometer. So weather reports use several different units of air pressure. Most weather reports of the general public use inches of mercury. And for example, the column of the mercury in the mercury barometer is about 30 inches high. So the air pressure is about 30 inches high in normal, but from a place to place, it's going to change. So National Weather Service maps indicate air pressure in millibars. And that's another unit of air pressure. So we start by mercury inches, and the second will be millibars. So the pressure of the atmosphere is equal to 1 bar. But if we get to use in millibars, so 1 inch of mercury is about 33.86, it's about to round to 34 millibars. So 30 inches of mercury is equal to about 1016 millibars. And that's what we see here, guys, is going to be maximum amount of air pressure in the nature. Thank you guys for listening. Was with you, Mr. Samir Awad. Hope you to understand everything. And if you have any question, just refer to me.